From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. Looking at our weather headlines, we've got that warming trend continuing. It's going to be a lot warmer by the end of the week, and especially this weekend. 106, 107 degrees by some of the warmer spots for the valley by Saturday. You know, it's not going to drop a whole lot going into early next week either. But that being said, going through next week, we do expect a gradual dip in our temperatures, but still hot any way you look at it. Sunny, hot, and dry as we take a look at that long-range forecast. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance for the rest of the day today. We'll call it partly cloudy. There's a weak disturbance pushing through. I don't anticipate it to bring us any rain. If it does, you're talking a sprinkle or two for some of the mountains, but that is it. We're keeping it below 100 degrees for the valley, so we'll certainly take that. Taking a look at your fire weather forecast, as the wind gusts are expected to pick up a little bit here, especially for the north and west side of the valley, not to mention the eastern mountains and southern Humboldt County. You see kind of how they really pick up. Then we go into tomorrow morning, those winds die down, and I don't expect the winds to be as strong for at least the valley, but still a little breezy, gusty for Siskiyou, Modoc, eastern mountains, and even southern Humboldt County as well. Taking a look at that fire weather risk, and yes, it is increasing today simply because those winds will be picking up. It's still going to be rather dry out there, and that's going to elevate that fire weather risk as the areas in orange indicate the high fire danger. But the good news is, as those winds die down for the valley, we're going back down to moderate fire danger. Now, that is still dry enough and a concern enough that you got to say, all right, let's still take extra precaution to make sure we don't start any fires here, because it's still hot and it's still dry out there. Now, the main smoke producer is the Big Cliff Fire, but it's really not transporting that smoke very far. Scott Valley, around, say, Etna, for example, Callahan. Mount Shasta may see some of that smoke as well, but mainly in the form of some haze. See some haze working its way into tomorrow morning out towards Trinity County, but then you see another little plume of smoke pushing its way into northern Trinity County by Thursday afternoon. Bottom line, we're just not seeing a lot of smoke outside of where the main fire itself is. It's pushing some of the smoke and haze kind of in the general vicinity around the fire, but that's really the extent of it. So there you can see that disturbance that's pushing through today. That's what's giving us the partly cloudy skies, but more mild air associated with that. And that's why our temperatures are staying below 100 degrees here, at least for today. But as that cooler air pushes to the east and north, that's going to allow the heat over the eastern Pacific to really build in. And this is when we see temperatures start to increase. We're going to notice it on Friday even more so. You see how that ridge really builds over the weekend. That's when we expect some of the hottest temperatures is over the weekend. Then what we're going to start to see happening, see how that heat is retreating back down to the south and west. And even though we are seeing the desert southwest heat working its way in, it's not going to be as strong as what we're going to see over the weekend. So we are going to see a slight dip in our temperatures here as we do go through next week. But it's still going to be a hot start to the week with 105 on Monday for Redding, 103 Tuesday, then closer to normal by the time we get in the middle and latter part of next week. All right, let's take a look at our forecast for today. Temperatures mid to upper 90s for your daytime highs. So yeah, I mean, nothing too unusual, below normal for this time of the year. Temperatures mainly in the 80s, even some 90s for some of the warmer spots in the mountains, and it looks like even some upper 60s for the coast. Tonight, we are dropping down to the mid to upper 60s for the valley, 40s and 50s for the mountains, and somewhere in the mid to upper 50s for the coast. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. It's going to be hot by Friday. Temperatures 100 degrees or higher. The peak will be over the weekend. Temperatures slowly dropping as we go through next week. The coast temperatures even around 70 by Friday and Saturday, but for inland, for Trinity County, 100 degrees most likely at least by Friday, and then temperatures increasing even more for your Saturday and Sunday. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast for Mount Shasta, the Modoc County area, eastern mountains, also seeing that increase in the temperatures and even warmer over the weekend and early next week. And you'll also notice no thunderstorms. That's your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. Have yourselves a great rest of your day.
Construction season is well underway in the Northstate, and we'd like to remind drivers to slow down around work zones. Keep Caltrans workers safe when they're on the job, and remember to be work zone alert when you see the color orange. Remember to pay attention to signs, merge early, avoid distractions, and don't speed. This message is brought to you by Caltrans District 2.